Phan Việt Quốc Huy, a Vietnamese-French film director who has helped raise the quality standards of commercial films in Vietnam. Together with his colleagues, Huy established his production house as one of Vietnam and Southeast Asia's most respected production establishments. But he doesn't stop there. He is dreaming big. He wants to bring Vietnamese filmmakers to the international arena. All stems from his deep love for his homeland, Vietnam.
Hello and welcome back to Talk Vietnam. This is Khát. Being proud of Vietnamese heritage is one of the key things that Vietnamese parents all around the world have taught their children. And that has played a very important role in shaping the kids' future and leading them to the motherland, Vietnam. Our guest today for Talk Vietnam has such a story. And he has been able to turn his Vietnamese pride into a well-respected production house that could bring Vietnamese creative industry to the world stage. So please welcome to Talk Vietnam today, Mr. Phan Việt Quốc Huy, the founder and executive producer of Clubhouse Films, currently based in Ho Chi Minh City.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Khát. How are you?
How are you?
Very good. Thanks for asking.
Well, so you must be so proud of being a Vietnamese since you were young. And how big is the influence that your parents have on you in preserving the Vietnamese culture?
Yeah, I think the story of my parents is quite complicated, but they've been kind of forced to be away from Vietnam because of the past events, and I think being away, they were kind of missing it, and they've been expressing it daily. This lack of Vietnamity, I call it Vietnamity, was deeply felt in my house, and daily I could feel that despite being in the French society, what made my parents very happy in their daily life is this part of Vietnam. It was like a kind of oxygen bottle for them every time they were talking to Vietnamese, or when they listen to Vietnamese music, or when they eat, or when they greet all the Vietnamese community at home. I felt it's like whenever it was linked to Vietnam, it was a ray of light and sunshine in their, let's say, normal and working class life. And and I've been curious about how come, what is this thing? And then all my life, my childhood life, I've been a bit to a quest of understanding that until I felt it, and then it was obvious that this is where I belong. Yeah, this is obvious. My DNA is Vietnamese, even if I'm educated in France. Yeah.
When you think about your childhood and growing up as a Vietnamese French, what did you remember the most?
To be honest, it was perfect childhood. Like I remember everything was perfect since I'm young, since I'm born. Like I was born in a really nice France, like the early 80s, where France were taking care of the newcomers, of migrants. I think it's been conditioned my perspective of life in France. So I always felt like super happy. Like a question I used to say myself is, if I was born French in France, it would have been a boring life for me, Like being Vietnamese for me, I felt that it gave me something special compared to other people that were, whether from Africa or the white French people. I felt that this is something that I own and that nobody can take from me.
Yeah. I mean, since you were young and you started to be aware of yourself and realize that you're so different to the people around you, except your family, but French people around you, did you have a lot of questions at that time about where you're from and how I'm going to live as a Vietnamese or as a French?
I had to question myself about that, but very smartly, my dad explained me that having this, instead of sharing myself between, like, people have been asking me, on a scale of 100%, are you more 60% French, 40% Vietnamese, or 70, or those kind of ratio? But my dad explained me that I was 100% French, because I'm a French, and 100% Vietnamese. So on a scale of 100%, I'm 200%. So straight away I felt like, I have pretty good tools for me to make it happen in my life and to be happy. Like there's no reason with 200% ratio not to make it happen and to get what I want in life.
Phan Việt Quốc Huy was born in 1981 in France in a Vietnamese family. His father was a former South Vietnamese Air Force jet pilot, and his grandfather, the chief engineer behind the reunification palace. Despite settling their lives in France since 1979, Hui's family never stopped dreaming of coming back to their homeland. Living with his grandparents and extended family, Huy quickly found love in the Vietnamese culture and understood that being Vietnamese was what made him special compared to others.
Nó con Việt Nam nó phải biết tiếng Việt, phải nói tiếng Việt ở nhà, tập nói tiếng Việt cho nó, phải sống biết cha mẹ, ông bà, rồi người trên kẻ dưới.
Huy mỗi lần nó hỏi tiếng Pháp, tôi trả lời tiếng Việt Nam. Như vậy nó về Việt Nam á, nó biết, nó nói tuy nó nói không tốt nhưng mà nó hiểu, nó biết nói.
In 1987, Huy and his parents returned to Vietnam for the first time. This was when he found out about what it really meant to be a Vietnamese.
Ngồi trên máy bay 10 mấy tiếng đồng hồ, tôi không chớp mắt. Tôi chỉ mong làm sao tôi về được xứ tôi. Cái khát khao của tôi là như vậy. Khát khao của muốn thấy lại chiếc xích lô đó, rồi cô thích những người của mình, người Việt Nam của mình như vậy. Cô lại nhớ tôi về tới phi trường, thấy lại quê hương mình. Trời ơi, cô không thể tưởng tượng được. Nó thích về Việt Nam rồi hai nó nói hè này mình đi đâu, mình về Việt Nam nữa. Năm sau cô cho về thêm 2 tháng nữa là 4 tháng. Mà nhờ 4 tháng đó mà nó biết yêu quê hương nó thương dân Việt Nam, nó thấy nó thích nói tiếng Việt Nam.
In 1994, the Vietnamese government invited Hui's grandfather, architect Phan Van Dien, to return to Vietnam and work on the reunification palace. He accepted straight away and since then decided to stay in Vietnam. In 1997, Hui's parents decided to also come back to Vietnam in order to take care of their parents. After his short studies in France and the US, Huy decided to come back and see his family in Vietnam in 2003. Since then, he never left.
Về đây mà được cái gia đình hạnh phúc như vậy tại Việt Nam thì thứ nhất rồi chứ là ở bên Mỹ anh và chắc không được như vậy đâu.
So your parents came back here first.
Yeah.
And then in 2003, you came back to see them.
Yeah.
And then decided to stay here for good.
Yeah.
What's going on in your mind at that time?
At that time, you know, to be honest, in France, I could have a normal life like everybody, but I could feel that I couldn't do something bigger than just for me. And when I came in Vietnam, it was when we had SEA Games 22,
SEA Games.
organized in Vietnam, where Vietnam did a fantastic performance. And I saw all those people behind this flag and behind the Vietnamese people.
Vietnamese pride.
Yeah.
It's going up.
And then I felt, yeah, with my little knowledge, I don't know what my knowledge is, but whenever I will find what I can be good in, I will try to focus on it and try to represent my country. You know, like a bit like Olympics. You know, for me, I feel my career like a bit Olympic, or let's say a sport player. Like one day, if I can bring a big achievement in film, let's say we are dreaming, but an Oscar or the French César, something like that.
Why not, man?
Why not? I believe.
Yeah.
I totally believe in it. But I would be proud to have my Vietnamese flag and made in Vietnam, baby. Yeah. You know, it's
I want to see that too. You came back here 2003. What were you doing at that time in French? Back in France?
I just finished my my studies.
Okay.
Like we call it a BTS. It's a technician about international trade, import-export thing. But to be honest, I did it because my parents wanted me to do something. They wanted their son to have a little degree.
Yeah.
And then I wrapped it, and I decided to come for vacation here. And then I just left everything there, and I stayed there until today.
You didn't really want to do that. You didn't really want to follow that career, right?
No, it was more about I needed to. It was stronger than me, you know.
Yeah.
I just felt even today I cannot really find the words of why, how come. It's just a miracle, you know. And when you feel the miracle happen, you need to jump in. And I felt that something was happening, and I decided to jump in. And bye bye France, see you later. And the later is still not.
Wow, interesting. What's a opportunity when you came back to Vietnam. Then how did you get a job during the first day in Vietnam? And
It was complicated.
Yeah.
Like me and my dad actually, I think it was the beginning of internet, and I go to the French Chamber of Commerce and take all the listing of French companies and go and meet them all, email them, go and ring the bell, but they don't take me because I guess not high level enough. And I don't know, for a lot of reasons they didn't want to take me, so we go everywhere until a university gave me a little job, gave my opportunity. It was Khát University. It's at the time it was a very, very small school, like with maybe 200 students, and now I think there are like few thousand of them.
Yeah,
they're big school now.
Yeah.
And I
What
love
did you
the
do?
love. I was in charge of. It was on my business card only. In charge of international relationships. So
okay.
what was the deal?
What's that about?
Yeah, it's so they have international programs in Hua and you have foreign teachers who coming from overseas and teach. So I'm the one who pick them up at the airport, show them how is Vietnam, support them in their daily life in Vietnam. Like after school, take them to Vietnamese restaurant and take care of them and help them to support them in their teaching here. Let's call it this way. And it was very interesting and because it allowed me to improve my Vietnamese.
Sure.
Because my Vietnamese was very weak, but working in the university is linked to companies and the corporate world. So it allowed me to talk like a normal adult, to teach normal adult Vietnamese language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time you got that job just to make a living, but you really had no plan to.
No, I didn't have no plans. And for me, I was happy already. And as I told you, I felt it was great to be in Vietnam already. So during the first few years, I felt that I'm
like
happy.
just get a job first and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
see what happens
And see
next,
what
right?
happen.
Because you are in Vietnam already.
Exactly.
Phan Việt Quốc, he started working for Hoa Sen University in 2004, where he was inspired by Miss Bùi Trân Phượng, the then director of the university. Today, after more than a decade, we visit Dr. Phượng again. The two recall all the good memories when he was quite new to Vietnam and received a great help from Dr. Phượng. She put her trust in Huy even when he had no experience before.
Lúc đầu em rất là thích là nói chuyện vì em cảm thấy cái ngành giáo dục nó khá đặc biệt, phải thực sự thương con người và kiên nhẫn và phải ai mình cũng có sinh viên A, B, C, D. Sau vài năm nói chuyện với em quyết định chọn một đường riêng, vẫn là một đường đam mê thôi.
Không phải nhiều bạn trẻ làm được như Huy, tức là chọn con đường trở về là một điều cũng không phải nhiều người làm. Rồi thứ hai là thành công trong con đường đó. Thành công ở đây không phải chỉ là sự nghiệp, không phải chỉ là mình làm nên được những điều có giá trị cho đời, cái đó cũng đã là chuyện rất là quý rồi. Nhưng mà thành công có nghĩa là mình tìm thấy hạnh phúc ở quê hương mình tìm thấy một chỗ để mình phát triển được. Và tất nhiên là Huy cũng đã gặp những khó khăn, không ai không gặp khó khăn hết, nhưng mà gặp khó khăn mà vượt qua được và bình thản với những cái xa lạ, khác biệt, thậm chí là trái ngược với điều mình quen thuộc, vân vân, thì tôi nghĩ là Huy là người có bản lĩnh.
Thanks to the work at Hoa Sen University, we finally found what he really loved, making movies.
Tell me more about your first job in the film industry.
First day, and they say, yeah, tomorrow we're shooting, come on set at 6 a.m. And I don't know what is set, I don't know how it works. So I come there and I see everybody working, but I want to be useful. So I take a toy, sweeper, and I start cleaning the set. And some people come some technicians come in, say, no, it's useless because you see, you have the camera here, there's nothing here, there's no point. And those people were technicians, and I'm Dan from PS company, from PS, my very good partner. And they start to explain me ABCD how it works. And those brothers from the set, they call it technicians. They showed me step by step. And after the shoot, I went home. I said, it's going to be complicated. I don't understand much about that. How I'm going to climb the ladder. And I understood that those technicians, they do all single films in Vietnam, always the same technicians. So I said, those people, they're very nice, working class like me. So I start becoming friends with them, and step by step, I got relationship with, let's say, workers, tea ladies, those things. And then step by step, you know, I gain their respect.
Yeah.
And then step by step, I climb the thing. But I'm very thankful to those people who gave me a chance at the beginning, who tried to explain me stuff that some people don't want to explain, you know, because it's a competitive job, you know, like, but they vote to Anh Vietnam really give me the opportunity and help me a lot.
So
And,
you were like an assistant on the set?
Yeah,
or,
assistant, like
just do whatever they want to do.
coffee guy, whatever people need, you know, you go and you need to, somebody forgot at the office something, whatever it needs to be done, you know, I'm happy to do it.
So you learn step by step
step
on
by
the
step.
job from the
Yeah.
people around you.
Yeah.
And when you start to learn and understand more a little bit about the film industry, then what area do you want to go to?
At the time, then I start to understand, and I had a bit marketing skills, so I start marketing.
Marketing skill.
But in the industry, when you start marketing for a production company, you start to become a producer, because a producer sells and execute. At the time, I wasn't executing, just sales. But step by step, you need to understand what you're selling. And I got very interested in that. I start to take pictures and try to understand a bit how film works. And then once I was solid enough, I start to execute what I sell. And then step by step, I became a producer. And then yeah.
In 2012, you decided to start your own company. What made you do that? I mean,
The feeling of being free, you know, like at the end of the day, when you work for others, you work for them. you know what I mean?
you
it's
had a
part
little
of it.
entrepreneurship in your blood.
And it's funny, they used to call us two guys and a laptop at the time, because we don't have nothing. You know, I put whatever savings I have, him the same, and we had our first film, and we did Coca-Cola job with Clubhouse. And since that day, we developed, because we decided to position ourselves in the high brand markets. I didn't want to do, let's say, a weak brand. I felt that it was important to be patient enough, but the very first little films I will do needs to be for big brands, because this is going to draw the rest of my company activity. So it was a good choice, I think.
Your company, when you started, is very new to the market. I mean, how did you get your first deal?
So at the time, because when I used to produce for other companies, I knew the network. You know, it's a very small network. Everybody know each other. Like you have let's say the big agencies who has very big films. Maybe they had, at the time, maybe 10 of them. And so I knew them already, and people know you in the market already, and some people have been trusting me for the past work. So when I created my company with Jimin, my partner, those people told us, you know what, we're going to give you the chance. You are invited to pitch, but the client will decide. So we participated to the pitch, and we won it. And then we had to find the money to produce the job. It was another problem.
Right.
And but we figured it out. You know, we had the support of the people, for example, from a rental house. All the artists who work with us had supported us too, to allow us to do a good film for the first film.
How many people that you start off with your new company?
We started at 2 in-house, and we had one production manager.
So you have
3.
one co-founder? Or?
One co-founder and one production manager. We were 3 of us.
It's only 3?
Yeah.
And then how did you grow your team? How did you attract talent?
What we did, we actually grew up quite organically. So most of my staff today are people who are not from the film industry, who are people who didn't speak English when I started, and there are people who used to work with my family in other activities. We had a little shop. My wife had a little shop, so some of them were selling the items and studying pharmacy at night.
Yeah.
And then when I grew up, instead of taking people from the industry, I take my own people, I train them, we grew up organically.
Clubhouse Films opened their doors in 2012 and has put together a roster of clients that includes Heineken, Sony, Toto, Asus, Nestle, and many more. From working with well-known local and international brands, Clubhouse Films executive producers Jimin De Leo and Phan Việt Quốc Huy have established the production house as one of Vietnam and Southeast Asia's most respected production establishments. For both Jimin and Huy, the love for the country and the wealth of opportunities in an underserved industry led them back.
We started with the same idea of bringing quality, trying to do everything with the international standards, and start from the top. I mean, we never tried to do undercut anything and try to do something in the lower standards. So from that, it was smooth sailing.
With more and more brands coming to invest in Vietnam and all the international agencies currently set up in Ho Chi Minh City, Clubhouse Films now have some opportunity to produce great advertising work. Advertising, TV and film projects interested in shooting in Vietnam are on the rise, and with better crews and equipment than in the past. Clubhouse Films can do the same as their neighbors like Thailand. But making commercial is not the final destination for Clubhouse Films.
We opened the clubhouse to make films, not just to make advertising. Advertising brings in, the money and to make the company run. But we are filmmakers, and what we want to do is make film. So it was always a natural progression to go into cinema films and other things actually. Documentaries and everything else is.
I know that besides TVCs, you also dreaming about making feature films. Tell me more about that dream.
Yeah, I used to dream, but I think I'm not. It's not dream anymore because I'm working on it now. So the very first project is the story of my parents that I've been working on for 10 years.
The story of your parents.
Yes, my dad used to be a jet fighter for Vietnam South Army. So on the 30th of April '75, he had to leave the country. And most of them, the pilots, flew to America, where most of them stayed. They had the green card. So his problem with my dad is like after leaving the country, he had to come back because he just got married with my mom only 1 month before. So he left the country, and it will be his quest to coming back to Vietnam to meet his lover again. But as you know, as a jet fighter, you cannot come back straight away because you are the political enemy. So he will wait until he gets his visa to come back. But once he has his visa, my mom decided not to stay in Vietnam anymore and take the boat people to go to America, where most of her family finally landed. And after 4 years, my mom in '79 finally arrived by miracle in France, and they found love again. And finally, they stayed in France, they live in France. And despite the success of their life, their work, etc., during all those years, they forgot a bit to love each other because the French system, working too much, etc. And when they were in this love crisis, they decided to come to Vietnam to resource, to find, and finally they find their love again back in Vietnam and decided to stay in Vietnam. And that's why I'm here. I'm here too, Yeah, I tried to do very fast on the movie, but this is a film that I want to do to thank the generation of my parents, our ancestors, etc. And I want to encourage all the Vietnamese people from overseas to come back home. I know like some of them don't dare coming back home because of the past, but I strongly believe that it's time to live without our ghost. And I strongly believe that Mother Vietnam is willing to welcome all her son, her kids, grandson who left. All of us, our diaspora, we belong to Vietnam. And really the Vietnam today does efforts to greet us. With what I'm doing, I work in film, it involves cultural and stuff. And since I work in the industry, nobody gave me problems. Whereas I'm supposed to be with kiều. They encouraged me to make it happen, actually. So I really hope that this message goes through, and then a lot of people who don't dare coming back here just come home, and there's a big possibility if they come back here and try, they're going to fall in love again and stay here. I strongly believe in that. So I encourage my Vietnamese brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, let's come back home. We are ready to all celebrate together. Vietnam has changed, and there's a lot of perspective for the future, and let's share that.
And you are a strong example that they can look Into
Strong, I don't know. It's just, you know, I try to, if one person listened to me, I would be happy already, but it makes me happy. I would like to share this, you know, with them. So this is the story, like the first film about my parents that we're working on. And another film that I hope to shoot by the end of the year or beginning of next year is the film about Koeknip.
nice,
The young brothers,
Yep.
also called
very famous. Yep.
the Prince of Circus. So what I did is, while I was writing the film about my parents, I decided to find a professional writer, a French professional writer, and I signed the deal of co-writing for the two films with him. So we are writing the two films in parallel, and I just finished the writing during Corona of the Young Brothers. So next week we're gonna start meeting distributors, sponsors, etc. You know, this is another part of the thing. But I strongly believe the Koeknip film should start very soon, and I'm very happy. You know, after two years of writing, I think I'm ready to do something good, and it's a movie that I hope Vietnamese people will be proud of. You know, and well, at least we've been putting a lot of time and heart and passion in that. So I will do it, and very soon.
The idea of making an autobiography film for Quốc Cơ and Quốc Nghiệp has been with Huy for a long time. Inspired by Quốc Cơ and Quốc Nghiệp years of devotion, Huy wants to make a feature film on circus that would touch the audience. The film will portray the twin brothers going through struggles and tearful glory. Furthermore, their brotherhood is what motivated Huy to finish the film soon.
Trước khi Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp nổi tiếng là anh đã đề xuất với Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp là làm bộ phim này. Đến hiện tại thì cũng có rất là nhiều người đề nghị Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp làm bộ phim của mình, nhưng mà chúng tôi đều từ chối, bởi vì người đầu tiên biết Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp lúc chưa nổi tiếng, họ đã đề xuất và họ có tâm huyết như thế này thì Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp quyết sẽ giữ các người mà có tâm huyết như thế.
Cái phim đầu tiên của Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp phải là phim nói về cuộc đời của hai anh em, và cũng là cái phim đầu tay của anh Huy. Bởi vì không biết tại sao mà cái niềm tin cũng như là cái sự tin tưởng dành cho anh Huy với nghiệp và anh Cơ cực kỳ lớn và cực kỳ cao. Và chúng tôi giống như là một gia đình, là những anh em, chứ không còn là giữa đạo diễn, nhà sản xuất hay là diễn viên nữa.
It isn't easy to make a film with passion and great attention to details. Throughout his career, Huy has been lucky to be accompanied and supported by his beloved wife.
Lúc đó tụi chị không có tiền, thì chị chỉ nói với anh một câu là nếu anh không có tiền thì mình còn cái nhà đó, mình sẽ bán đi để cho anh làm chuyện đó. Cái đó là cái sự hỗ trợ chị nghĩ là đó là nói bằng miệng, không phải là ai cũng có thể làm được, nhưng chị nghĩ để làm được chuyện đó thì cũng phải có hy sinh từ rất là nhiều phía. Nó là một sự đánh đổi, và cái đánh đổi thành công hay không thành công thì lúc nào chị cũng phải tin tưởng vào chồng chị là có thể làm được chuyện đó.
Circus art isn't widely practiced, so artists like Quốc Cơ and Quốc Nghiệp have been the pioneers who brought Vietnamese circus to the world stage. The brothers' story has inspired many young circus artists who are pursuing their passion.
Because a lot of people, when we talk about Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp, we know so much about their performances on the media all the time, right? But what else about the brothers? That's why you have to tell the story.
Exactly. And for me, why I love their story is like they're kids who come from nothing. They were very, very poor, etc. But they had this passion for circus. And disregarding all the barriers, financial barrier, physical barrier, psychological barrier, the problem with themselves, because every human has your own problem to solve before being able to shine. So all this, despite all those difficulties, those barriers, those conflicts, they still made it happen. You know, it wasn't written, the success wasn't written. Normally, when you're born in such conditions, you're not supposed to be where they are. And they are here today because it's their Vietnamity again that allowed them to be so far. They are very proud to be Vietnamese. When they go overseas and perform, it's very important for them that people know that they're Vietnamese and not Chinese. You know, everywhere they perform, they have the Vietnamese flag here. It's a part of them which is stronger than circus. And that's why this circus is the theme, is what's going to allow us to go through this Vietnamese message. But it could be footballers. It could be the story of Who Am I. But it's really, and the beauty of their performance, it's so entertaining too. So when I met them, I just felt in love. I said, guys, this is such a big story. And I talked to their parents, and I said, let's do a film. And they offered me the rights, the copyrights of the film. And now it's been 2 years that we're writing together with my writer in France, who have been nominated twice for the Oscars. And then now we finish. We have our 120-page 7 version. So I think we're gonna start selling next week.
The movie The Giang Brothers, about Giang Quốc Cơ and Giang Quốc Nghiệp, two brothers with a passion for learning circus since Cơ was 10 and Nghiệp was 6 years old. Every day after school, the two brothers perform on the street with their father. Despite having passion for circus, the first job the brother had at a circus was cleaner. But the difficulties did not discourage the two brothers. Through many hardships, tears, and physical injuries, but with intense passion and hard work, the brothers Cơ and Nghiệp have gradually achieved success and become the icons of Vietnamese circus.
What do you hope to achieve through those two movies?
You know, it sounds a bit crazy, but I would like to be one of the first Vietnamese filmmaker to get maybe an Oscar or something like that. It sounds crazy when you hear Oscar, but why not? You know what I mean?
The Oscar-nominated writers in your team,
exactly,
man.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Even my art director, Darren Loveday, my production designer, he's been working on Mad Max,
Yep.
Mission Impossible. Yeah, I'm surrounded by very good guys. Like my musician too, his name is Charlie Nguyen Kim. He works a lot in Hollywood. He produced the music for Luc Besson. So I have the team ready. And I believe that my personal objective is to bring those trophy home. Just to made in Vietnam, baby. For me, I want to people say, made in Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam are the good filmmakers.
Yep.
Relying on Vietnamese movies, using the international knowledge that the new generation has, like really put Vietnam on the map. Not like we say that I don't want Vietnam to take part of the game. I want Vietnam maybe to take over the game. It's my objective, and I believe we have the tools to make it. And if we second trophy, if I don't win, it's fine. But
I like your attitude, man. I think we need more of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to play National League. I want to take Champions League. I don't want to play SEA Game is great, but let's go for the World Cup, baby.
I'm curious, if you had not come back to Vietnam, you stay in France, would you still follow your passion of doing film? Do you think so?
I think I wouldn't do film at all. I think I would be a salesman, or maybe I have a restaurant or a burger shop or a kebab shop, or whatever. Whatever. I don't think I would be able to explore my passion.
So Vietnam is a place who really give you a chance to grow.
Yeah, to go over there, to be honest, we are just anonymous. You know what I mean? Yeah, nobody really cares. People cares about. It's hard to have a decent living already. So yeah, I didn't feel I could help to anything. I could help for my personal life. Maybe if I would have kids over there, take care of them. But I would be able to try to spread a message the way I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Do you think that's why a lot of Việt kiều, like the filmmakers, overseas filmmakers, coming back to Vietnam?
I think so.
Because this is the place where they can feel and the cultural things and all the artistic.
And the fun
environment.
too. And the fun, to be honest, Vietnam is a very funny country. Like when I go work anywhere else in the world, and I go to nice places, there's not a place as fun as Vietnam. Here we're smiling. There's something positive. I have the feeling like even something wrong happened to me, to my company, I still have a parachute behind it. We cannot fail here. I believe with the proper work ethic, the proper ethic, normally you cannot fail in Vietnam today.
Huy lives with his parents, his wife, and his 2 young children in a suburban house in Ho Chi Minh City. Every day, after hours of working at his company or on set, he would go home to his beloved family and share a Vietnamese meal together. For Hui's family, life in Vietnam is so simple and more familiar than their life in France.
Nhà tôi là tôi ăn đồ Việt Nam. Tôi cũng thích đi chợ, có bên những cái shopping lớn, tôi cũng thích là đi vào những cái chợ nhỏ có những người bán những mớ rau, những củ khoai lang đó, là tôi thích như vậy.
Bây giờ cũng mỗi tuần ra gặp bạn ở bạn Prisky rồi bạn không quân rồi gặp nhau nói chuyện kể chuyện đời xưa cũng vui. Cái đó là cái quý nhất của chú rồi bà con hàng xóm rồi về thấy sống thoải mái rồi.
If he didn't follow his parents back to Vietnam, Huy would still be able to succeed in France. However, he wouldn't live close to his parents and enjoy a life that's full of joy and laughter. The love for Vietnam has been passed on to the next generation.
Mình không bao giờ mình đem cuốn sách ra mình nói con phải làm như vậy, không làm như mà mình làm gác lại. Như ví dụ hiếu thảo cha mẹ không vậy thì chú phải làm đi, chú phải sống với bố mẹ chú sao thì nó sẽ sống với như vậy thì con nó sẽ tiếp tục. Chứ còn không giờ đem cuốn sách mình nói sách nói phải về không được ha.
Tôi có cháu gái năm nay 15 tuổi. Vẫn ước muốn của cháu là đi du học xứ ngoài. Nhưng mà nói với cô như thế này: bà nội ơi, con học xong, con vẫn về Việt Nam, con làm việc, con sống ở Việt Nam. Bà nội nói, mà tôi nói tại sao con sống ở ngoài này không? Không chỗ nào sướng hơn Việt Nam đâu bà nội.
Life in Vietnam gave Huy a lot more than he wouldn't have achieved in France, one of which is the love among family members. That's why family elements and patriotism are prominent features in his works and successes.
So after 17 years coming back into Vietnam, how do you see yourself change?
Personally, I don't think I've been changing much. Actually, you know, I always have fun. I think I'm more serious I'm more, how to say, I'm less emotional. I don't decide based on my emotions anymore because I know that I cannot do that anymore. It can compromise what I've been building. But my daily life is the same. I still live with my parents. I still have the same friends. I still party the same. I still, you know,
Yeah.
It's what makes me happy because Vietnam allowed me to stay the same, but gave me much more.
But career-wise, the thing changed a lot.
Career-wise and balance-wise too. You know, I believe to be able to spread a certain message or to spread love, you need to be happy first. And Vietnam allowed me to be happy, and since I felt super happy, it allowed me to do next step and go do something bigger. But I strongly believe we need to feel good first to be able to help others. Yeah. And Vietnam allowed me very fast this one. The first few weeks in Vietnam gave it to me already.
What would you tell your friends, VietQ or overseas friends who are considering coming back to Vietnam and make a living here?
Actually, both a lot of friends of mine from France came here and live.
Yeah.
So what I explain them, I say, this is at least for you because you guys gonna have fun. It's very pleasant to live in Vietnam. And second, for the future of your kids, because Vietnam in 15 years is not the same. It's not the same.
Not the same anymore.
It's like I explain them, like guys, it's not, and it's a win-win situation.
For now, that's the 2 movies is the big plan right now.
It's a big plan. Yeah, it's a big plan, and
So the expectation for the release of the first one, the Quốc Cơ Quốc nghiệp, should be in this year, 2020.
the release I think would be 21.
21.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 21.
No, I think
Later. Yeah.
Hard to say, but I expect mid-year next year. If not, end of the year. If not, don't worry, it will still happen.
You will have it. You
exactly.
will have it
Exactly.
at the end of the day. And that will be your first feature film.
My
And
first
the
feature
first products of your ambitions of winning an Oscar nominated. Got nominated for an Oscar.
I know people are going to be laughing when I say Oscars, but I believe in it. I believe in it. You know, no problem. I know there's a lot of talented people in the market, a lot of in the world, etc. But once again, I believe we are very special stories. Stories make the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You could get a lot of laugh by saying that with the Oscar dream, but I'm going to tell you good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing, and really hope you to have a good one on that process of producing that movies, and we just can't wait to see it.
Thanks a
in
lot.
theater.
And we'll keep in touch.
All right.
Hey, thanks
you.
for inviting. It was
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, that's the story of anh Phan Việt Quốc Huy, the chairman, the executive producer of Clubhouse, with the big dream and big ambitions of bringing the Vietnamese stories to the world stage. So we expected to welcome his first feature movies about Quốc Cơ Quốc Nghiệp, the two famous twin brothers. And for all the VietQs, overseas Vietnamese who want to come back to Vietnam and make a living, and especially someone who do filmmakers like anh Huy, this is the place of opportunity. And we, the Vietnamese, we deserve more than this. We should be more confident. With the right attitude, the right spirit, we can achieve anything. So that's the story of Talk Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.